So what else is going on at school? You don't have that much longer to go. What, like 8 weeks or something?
Less than that, I think.
Really? And you're going to be graduating?
Yeah.
And
hopefully,
you're done?
Yeah. Unless they tell me I can't walk the stage, you know?
Well, yeah, okay.
Hopefully nothing happens.
Yeah, it's like everybody graduates except for Couper.
Yeah. You never know what could happen. But yeah, I think 20 days left of school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really quick.
Because we got spring break this Friday.
And how long are you going to be off?
Like all of next week, yeah. All of next week.
Okay, so starting this Friday, you'll be off for one whole week.
Yeah.
Okay, so during that week, because Kurt and I are leaving tonight to go to Laughlin for a few days.
How long are you guys gonna
Just only till Friday.
Till Friday.
Yeah, and he's going to go down there and play golf.
Yeah.
So check out that golf course. And while Kurt is playing golf, I try to attend the different city councils and Chamber of Commerce and
Just get a feel for the city.
I do. I make appointments with them, and they kind of give me a tour of the city, so it's kind of
cool.
fun. Last time I was down in that area, I took a tour of Kingman and Fort Mojave. So this time I hope to. I guess Laughlin is technically not a city; it's a township. So I hope to get kind of maybe a tour of the town while I'm there. But when I come back, kind of a long story to get to this. Pardon us while we have a conversation here. I want to get together with you because we are talking about doing the fair together.
Yeah, I would love to do the fair. My dad used to do that.
And your dad was here. He did the fair, and then he ran for Congress, and so I'm wondering maybe someday I should run for Congress.
You might be a good candidate.
I can't even win at school board. I don't think I'll run for Congress. That's tough. I saw what your dad went through.
I wish you would have told me. I found out like the night before, and I was like, why didn't you tell me? I would have walked some precincts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, next time.
Next time. Yeah.
Okay, so.
I don't mean to gloat, but we pulled off a pretty big upset in city council.
Modesto?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We ran a candidate.
Oh, yeah, you did.
We helped her get elected.
Go ahead and put it out there now that you brought it up.
Yeah, we helped Jenny Ketchum-Kenoyer run her campaign and helped her get elected. Unfortunately, she didn't ask us for our help after she got elected.
So now, speaking of Modesto politics, she actually got served recall papers.
Oh, she did?
She did.
So her and Mr. Councilman Cogdale?
Yes.
They both have been served?
Yes, they have. And, I don't know the recall process, so I don't know how many days they have to respond. But she's a real fighter, so I don't know how that's
she's fiery.
And, feisty, I think, is what the mayor meant.
She's definitely feisty.
Yeah.
But she has called us since everything kind of went down in flames.
And yes.
And she said, we asked her, well, have you been walking your district? Have you been staying in touch with your voters? And they said, yeah. She said, yeah. I've been walking every weekend, and people say I'm doing a good job, and so I don't know where she's been walking, but
well, that brings up an interesting question. I never thought about this, and that is when I was walking for school board, I told the people, if I get elected, I will come back and talk to you again, and I wrote their names and addresses down, but I didn't know that that's actually a political piece of advice to go back and talk to the people.
It's definitely a piece of advice, and even if you have someone else out walking for you, you tell the people, well, hey, if you want, let's say I'm walking for Michael Eggman. If you want Michael to come by and talk with you, he'll do that. And then you give Michael their address, and he goes down there, and they actually get to meet him and shake his hand, and they say, wow, this guy's a really dedicated candidate. He might be a congressman.
Yeah, it's coming up soon.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
June, what is it?
It's June 3rd.
June 3rd,
yeah. And then, of course, the general election in November.
Yeah.
So, anyway, you have another candidate, I believe, that your family is supporting. Is that correct? In the Congressional District 9.
9, yeah.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that candidate.
Her name's Karen Matthews Davis. She used to be the county clerk recorder here in Stanislaus County. And she was attacked in the 90s, early 90s, by a right-wing, anti-taxed, pretty much a terrorist group. And they attacked her because they wanted to get rid of some IRS liens on their property. And she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't budge. She wouldn't break the law. And she stood up for what's right. She stood up for the Constitution, and they attacked her in her garage. And she stood up in the face of danger and stayed in office, ran for re-election. The men have went to jail, and she retired sometime after that to take care of her parents back in Stockton, in the San Joaquin area. And so she's been there for a while. Her and her husband George, they own a dog business. They breed dogs and do dog shows. They got beautiful dogs. I've been over there. They're big suckers. I don't know what they're called, but they're good-looking dogs. And so she called up my dad and said, "You ran my first county clerk campaign. Will you run my first congressional campaign?" And he said, "Sure, I'll do anything for you." So we've been helping her out. She's got a tough wall to climb against Jerry McNerney, who's got a lot of money.
Well, he's the incumbent there, too.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many terms he has served there, but I
think it's about 4 or
it's a lot.
6,
yeah.
Something like that. He's been in there, I think, since 2008. And Karen's, one of her main issues is since 2008, since the markets collapsed and Stockton has just went further downhill than anyone thought it could go, what's Jerry McNerney done? He's written a letter to the president. He couldn't get anything out of giving his vote away for Obamacare. He couldn't say, "Well, I'll vote for this if we help out Stockton." Couldn't say, I'll vote for your Jobs Act if we get some jobs in Stockton. And that's her main thing, is the lack of attention that our area has gotten is partly because that Jerry McNerney has just gone up there and said, "I'm a Democrat, here's my vote. I'm voting with Obama, I'm voting with Pelosi, here's my vote." So that's her case, and she's held nonpartisan office before, and she's shown that she's nonpartisan. So she'll go up there and she won't say, "Here's my vote, Mr. Boehner." She'll say, "What do you got for me, Mr. Boehner? And Miss Pelosi, what do you got for me?" And then I'll make my decision based off of what is best for my district.
A few minutes ago, we were talking with a candidate for District 10, Michael Eggman.
Michael Eggman is a great man. Funny story, me and my brother actually take credit for discovering Michael Eggman.
I've received a few texts and several people are taking credit for that.
Well, we're the first ones he told about this. We met him about, feels like a year and a half ago. My brother met him somewhere out in Turlock, and he says, "Hey, my name's Michael Eggman. I'm running for Congress against Jeff Denham." And Chance says, You're running for Congress? Who are you?" So he gave him his card, and it's back before he had the logo. It's when he was passing out his farmer's card. So he gave him his farmer's card and said, "So you're a bee farmer?" So there's a bee farmer running against a local farmer. So that's what we got now. And so we met him, and he's just been a great guy. Always returns our calls when we get a call into him, and always calls us back. And when we have any questions, he gets right back to us.
I've often thought that a leader is only as good as the people who he surrounds himself with.
Yeah.
Or herself with. And I'm very impressed with Mr.
Well,
Eggman's
you did
staff.
a great job of that by picking Kurt.
And kudos to Kurt. We'll have him on here in just a minute.
But yeah, Michael's got a great staff, too.
He does. Within 24 hours, I have a return call or email, and I'm very impressed because people like Michael, or I should say candidate Eggman, they are very busy.
Yeah.
They have the 2 jobs. He's a farmer, a beekeeper, and running for Congress. So we were talking about education. Tell me, as a student...
That's something very important to me right now.
Yeah, okay, so you're going to be graduating in 20 school days.
Yeah, 20 school days. May 22nd is when I graduate. That's hopefully when I walk across the stage around this time.
Are you going to have a graduation party?
Yeah, at my house. You'll get an invite. Probably.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so education. From high school, you're going to go to MJC and then maybe on to Stan State?
Hopefully.
Okay. How important is it that we as grown-ups invest in you, students, young people, for our future? How do you see that? Because I see it as a 50-something-year-old. You're a 18, I was going to say 20-something, but you're not quite there yet. So 18-something. So here's the flip side. I see it as a necessity.
Yeah.
We have to invest in our children so that our future is secure. Not just our future, but the country's future.
Yeah.
How do you see it as the 18-year-old, as the student?
Well, I think I kind of see it the same way. I don't know if most kids my age do, but if we're not learning anything, the country's in trouble. Because I know China, India, Japan, probably in Russia, their kids are moving. And they're on the ball, math, science. I mean, we're lagging behind.
Why do you think that is?
You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just because our population has grown and the number of kids with apathy has kind of grown.
Well, I don't see you or your brothers, Chance or Gary Matthew, having any ounce of apathy. What sets you three apart from your other people your age? I won't even say your peers, because you are exceptional. Your family is exceptional.
I mean,
I don't hand out compliments either.
I appreciate it, but I don't.
Just ask Kurt.
we're just average people. I mean, I get average grades. I'm not in the IB program. The kids in the IB program, they're sharp. I know a junior. His name's Riley Nolan. Does speech and debate. Wants to go on to law school. Get straight A's. Just a great kid. And how he's able to balance everything, I'm amazed by, because I have a light load as a senior, and so it's hard for me to balance.
Obviously, you're playing golf and coming on TV.
I'm playing golf and coming on TV, but.
So what separates you and your brothers and your family and maybe some of your close friends apart from that?
Well, you know, I guess it could be the way you're brought up, what your parents expose you to. You know, if you're 6 years old and you're going to first grade and your dad says, "Who's the Secretary of State?" and you say, well, it said Colin Powell. That's who it was back then. And says, yeah, well, who's Attorney General? I don't know, Dad. Who's Attorney General? He'll answer it. That's what my car rides to school used to consist of.
Well, do you see, obviously he was asking you political questions, but do you see other parents, the other students or young people that you go to school with, do they talk to you about the interaction that their parents have with them on the car ride to school? It could be something else. It could be basketball. It could be chess. It could be whatever interests that particular family. I mean, I guess I'm looking for a common thread.
Well, yeah, I think it definitely does. But I think that's the most important thing, is for parents to have that connection with their child, and as long as they're talking with them and they teach them right from wrong, I think that's the biggest thing. Is you know that poverty is wrong, and if people know that, then there wouldn't be so much apathy for a homeless person walking down the street saying, "Can I get $1?"
So do you see the absence of right and wrong possibly being a cornerstone of the building of apathy?
I definitely think that. I mean, there's some conservative guys in the IB program who kind of differ on a few stances with me, but and I'm pretty conservative, so I could meet them on a few lines, but you know, when it comes to a single mom working 3 jobs with 3 kids. She might need an extra welfare check or extra $100 a month to get by, pay for the child's daycare or whatever it might be.
So last time you were here, we've just got a couple more minutes here. We talked about the possibility of you're not going to be in theater anymore, but you may be going on to something else.
I'm going on to school.
Okay. So is there any possibility of a political future for you? Because we have talked about Gary Matthew.
Gary, well, that's in stone. That's set in stone.
He's going to be running for mayor of Ceres.
2019. Yeah. But
what
me,
about you?
Me, I don't know. I got to go to school for probably 7 years to be a lawyer.
Is that what you want to be?
Yeah, I would like to go to law school. My dad regrets not going, so I don't want to regret not going. And I'm kind of doing his route, the MJC to stay on state, except I'm Xing out Pepperdine. I'm not going to Pepperdine because I know I wouldn't go to class if I was in Pepperdine. But yeah, little Gary, chance maybe my dad again. Who knows?
Yeah, let's get your dad back on here because I want to talk to him about his political future as well, because I think he did okay. It was good race. I saw some great commercials. He walked the district, and although he didn't garner that seat, I think that he probably has a pretty good chance next time around.
Well, like I said last time I was on, he was the only independent to win a city, and that'd be in Ceres, so who knows if he doesn't run for Congress, he might run for something local.
Well, it's kind of in your family's blood to be public servants, so.
Well, when you see something that's not right, try to fix it. And that's the approach that we've taken to this, public service. And when we see injustice, we want to stand up and say...
Well, you want to say what?
We want to say that's wrong. And that needs to change.
I just had one more question, and that was the injustice that we see, and you step up to the plate and you serve. How do you deal with someone coming along with a baseball bat and either physically,
like
Karen, or verbally, like on Facebook or something else, or in the newspaper? How do you deal with that bullying?
We've dealt with a little bit all of that, and we've gotten through it. We're a strong family, and I think anyone who enters public service and public life has that strength. Well, most of them.
I don't think I'm running again. It's tough. Even
It
the
is.
school board, it was tough.
Yeah, well, for a county clerk to stand up to a group of terrorists and say, I'm not budging. You come to my house if you want. I'm not going to do that. I mean...
Well, we're out of time for this segment, but since Karen is not here, give our viewers the information where we can find Karen.
She's on Facebook, Karen Matthews for Congress. Karen for the House is her official website.
Okay.
A really good website, got all her news stuff, and I did a commercial for her.
Really?
Yeah, so check that out.
Is that on the website?
Yeah, it's on there, on the
Excellent.
YouTube thing and all that. So yeah.
Send me the link, and then we'll put it on. When I do the advertisement for this show.
Yeah. Hopefully we get her on here.
I would like that very much. Yeah, that would be good. We're kind of running out of time. I have some time on the 21st and May 5th, but
All right.
other than that, I'm pretty well booked.
All right.
So are you going to stick around so I can talk to you afterwards?
Yeah,
You gotta
I'll stick
take off?
around.
Okay, great. Thanks, Couper. Okay, we'll talk to you in a couple of minutes.